special container?
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Lieutenant, I think there's something special about this container.
Is this like your thing with that wall again?
Maybe, I can't tell. I think we should investigate further.
You do? Because I don't.
Why not?
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
It was hanging from the crane.
You just picked one out because you wanted to interact with a cargo container. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
Knock on the door.
No reply.
Knock on the door.
No reply.
Open the door.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Okay, rhetoric check, but it would be super low. Persuade the door to open. I'll come back to it. Nothing more to do here for now. Oh, hello. That's a person. Oh, no, that's... Never mind. Down by Measurehead. Numerous empty bottles of Commodore Red and potent Pilsner. At least 3 packs of cigarette butts. Oh.
Snow is quietly covering the numerous wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really, really hard here.
How hard?
Well, they went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles of Commodore Red, and almost 4 packs of cigarettes. It must have been pretty hard.
Did I do this?
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you.
This is really sad. I must have been miserable.
Yes, this scene isn't exactly ripping with joy. Let's just move on.
Youch. Okay, I can't get down there at the moment, so... Oh, I see where that is. That's the balcony of the apartment building, so that's fine. It's up through here, isn't it? Okay. I think I've searched that whole area now, so that's fine. Open the apartment door for Evrart. Get the key to the Weasel's door from Manana. Okay.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
Labor Utopia, not approvingly.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains.
He notes solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face.
Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Okay. He said you have a key to a door?
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
He said it belonged to a weasel.
Oh, say no more. I got you.
He taps the side of his nose with a little wink.
I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
Well, as you know, Manana, I'm not sure if it quite counts as that, because cops are not the working class. I heard something about a weasel and it didn't sound like a local polar weasel, if you know what I mean. Wink. I don't know what that is implying.
Polar weasel? Oh, I know what you mean. I'm pretty sure he's actually Occidental, though. So you're gonna be committing fratricide, my racist
Oh
friend.
dear, it was something racist? Sorry guys, I didn't mean to say something racist.
What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter.
His gaze wanders off into the distance.
None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess.
Anything else I should know about this task, this weasel person, when he'll be home?
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
The man takes a big sip from his flask.
Who he is and what they're fighting for? This is interesting. Ask him about the Hardy Boys.
Do you know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Evrart's law. But really, they're just like you.
That's not good, my dude. Any idea who killed the hanged man?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
The merc was hanged with a very specific type of cargo belt, one often used in heavy transport areas, for example, harbors.
What a thought. Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
Pushed how?
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
What does that mean?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Did you kill him?
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
He's not lying about not doing it himself.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search.
Okay, hold on. Come on, Harry. There we go. No, come on. I don't know why those stairs are so troublesome. Okay, so... said that there was a door behind the whirling in rags. The greenhouse door, right? Oh, there's someone on the roof there. This greenhouse? That looks like a greenhouse, so is there a way for me to get to the other side? Yeah, okay, I know that I can access the other side that way, but let me check if I can go through here. No, I don't think I can. Okay. No, I don't think that was the door. Sorry. Trying to remember where things are is not my strong suit. Oh, hello. Are you a new person? Shit, ain't nothing to me. Okay. Sure. Sure thing, buddy. Well, there's a man reading outside the bookstore right now. Hello. Oh my. Sorry, that's a woman. Working class woman. You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books. A good one? Point at the book.
Yes? Hello?
She nods, her attention fully focused on reading. Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Lol. What are you doing?
Looking for something to read.
Did you know that working class people should always be working every minute of every day? Because that's what that means. Stupid. She reverts her attention to a worn out paperback. Phenomenal.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Oh, how do you know that? Hi Jasmine, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Nice to meet you too. Welcome to the stream. Good then.
Mm-hmm.
She turns her attention to the soggy books on the bookstand. Okay, well, I guess I have no choice but to ask if she needs the help of a policeman.
What with?
Maybe your husband is missing? What an odd question.
My husband? No, he's not.
So, where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
Where is this going, officer?
So what I'm hearing is you don't really know where your husband is.
Yes, but I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
I don't think you do either. I've gotten locked into some kind of strange conversation. Wouldn't you like to?
No.
She looks you straight in the eye. Her right foot is tapping nervously. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe he isn't missing.
Of course he's not. It's not like he's a pocket watch. I wouldn't just lose him.
She has the husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay.
It's okay.
What?
It's alright to not know where your husband is. Nothing shameful in that.
Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me. My husband is not missing.
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then.
Maybe your cockatoo is missing?
I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get ladies. It's better to indulge him at this point.
What do you mean I'm being a cockatoo?
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
Actually, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Thanks for the tip.
Wonderful. The store is open.
Maybe your children are missing.
No, absolutely not.
Her words come out quick as gunshots. Okay, so where are they?
Are you a policeman?
She's definitely disturbed by now. Nanny, where are they?
They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance. What if something horrible has happened? What if they're dead? That's the bad vibe you got before.
They are at home, right? Smoking cigarettes?
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Shamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now.
I feel kind of bad. I kind of feel like I'm just harassing this woman a little bit. This is like a realistic interpretation of a video game character chatting into any NPC character and trying to explore every nook. Yeah, it is. I like that they've kind of like had fun with it. I think that's very much like how I play games like this, is that I do want to like explore all of the things and stuff like that, and I do like that they they kind of have a bit of fun with it, and some of these interactions are a bit like not necessarily relevant, but they're just very colourful and very like strange and very fun. I like that, yeah. Sure, Spicy Jasmine. I mean, yeah, this is a... So, welcome to Game Assist. The Game Assist community is about... we are essentially about exploring politics in games and being a safe space, or trying to create a safe space for people to build community, people who are interested in kind of exploring political issues in games and kind of like forming kind of community with like-minded people. We mainly make video essays on our YouTube channel about various political issues in games, from kind of like colonialism and neo-colonialism and Western imperialism to gender and sexuality, queer representation in games, feminism in games, disability in games, all sorts of stuff over on our YouTube channel. And we play games here on Twitch, and partly kind of try to engage in political commentary and discussions about the games, and sometimes people's kind of lived experiences and stuff can kind of come into the conversation, and that, you know, we hope to kind of create a safe space to discuss things like that. You know, for anyone who's kind of joining us today, thank you for the new follows and stuff. I think that you can find our YouTube channel if you type in the command !YouTube. But yeah, and it's not just me over here at Game Assist, so we've got a few other team members, and I think mostly me and my friend Charlotte stream, and we've got some other team members who don't necessarily stream but help us with things like the video essays and reviews that we write and stuff like that. So if you follow the channel, you might see other people here as well, not just me. Hold on. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe they aren't missing after all. Tell me something else. She adjusts her scarf, cheeks rough and ruddy from the wind. Watch her browse books.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
Okay. I don't really want to, like, make her feel very afraid and, like, convince her that some of her family is missing or something like that. I don't... Yeah, it feels like... That feels like a very uncomfortable thing, and I kind of just feel like I've been harassing this woman, so I can only apologize. That's all for the moment. I'll let you read.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
I can feel myself shrinking into my seat at this convo. Feels familiar, except this woman is way more composed than I would be at something trying to talk to me for no reason. Yeah, I can only apologize for putting her in this situation. Okay, finally, something that can give us a morality boost. Morality? Why do I keep saying morality? I mean... morale. thought... Or maybe this is the door?
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Carefully knock.
You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
I guess no one is in.
The lieutenant looks uncomfortable. Press your ear against the door.
The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Lieutenant, what is your opinion of this task we're undertaking?
Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for, but every day tells you something new about yourself.
The lieutenant replies, still inspecting the padded door.
Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about.
So you don't mind if I unlock the door?
I mind that the local thug is using the RCM for his busy work. But if this gets us to the bottom of this hanging, then I'm willing to look over it.
Moralism boost, a healing item that makes you more centrist. God forbid. God forbid. I'd rather die.
On the other hand, we could just leave and tell Evrart we opened the door. No one seems to be tailing us to see if we actually did it.
Lie to Evrart? That's also an option?
Yes. Presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task. You make the call.
The door is right here. You can just open it and be done with this. Besides, if you never open it, you're never gonna find out what's behind it.
I do want to know what's behind the door. They got me there. Use Manana's key to unlock the door.
You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator. A fountain of quicksilver. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft. A whistle.
What's in there? Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. The book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. Ooh, a shirt. Let's have a look at it. +1 logic. Intercalary dress shirt. Okay, I could probably do with more logic points, to be honest with you. Ooh. So I like the mesh shirt, but it's not really like gelling with the rest of the outfit, you know what I mean? I feel like this dress shirt is starting to kind of gel with the rest of this outfit a little bit though. So, yeah, I can vibe. I mean, I'm still wearing these comically large gloves, but no, I like the comically large gloves. Okay. Let me interact with a couple of these. This is the... Oh, hold on. This is the ledger you found in the trash. It's full of notes written in a man's dense cursive. Maybe have a closer look. Maybe it can be salvaged to start keeping notes in the case.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Anything else?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
Wow, okay. Browse the white papers.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs.
Gotta keep the gloves. Absolutely gotta keep the gloves, you're right. Okay.
Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What's in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
Is 2 cases a week a good caseload, Lieutenant?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes.
2 cases a week seems to have been my load, Lieutenant. I'm not sure I completed them, though.
2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
I'm sure I made plenty of mistakes.
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
God knows I've made my share. He tries not to think of them. Like a fan of girls, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
There was a mention of a naming convention here.
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name, a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples.
Oh my, and they're written in capital letters too.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
More?
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Kim, my cases appear to employ some kind of naming convention.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
No, I mean a non-numeric one with titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Why is that?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
I seem to have named a case the Square Bullet Hole Murders. Yeah, I'm curious about that. How do you even make a bullet square-shaped?
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out.
What happened to him?
Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Wow. Count the pages. I have to open an official case. Is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete.
Commit to paper.
Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event.
Kim, do you have a pen?
The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. It's downright incriminating. He has little choice but to give you one, although he really doesn't want to. He is not really saying anything, just standing there, looking at them.
Can I have one?
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
With this beauty, commit to paper.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place.
Cross out the ones you've already finished.
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done, and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Lieutenant, have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
The hanged man, the furies are at home in the mirror, the setting sun, shit on a stick. I mean, the hanged man feels a little bit obvious, you know what I mean? The furies are at home in the mirror.
Furies? Yes, well, I don't know. I have to be honest, I'm not experiencing the internal strife that it refers to. And also...
He furrows his brow.
Could you make it less poetic somehow? Just a normal case name, you know? Think, what would that be? A good normal name?
Yes. You know what that normal name is. But it's so plain. Anything else?
Ugh, fine, Kim. If you have to shit on my creativity like that. The hanged man.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
I'm done inspecting these. Close the case files.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Logic check. Can I read the case files now?
Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 41120111700, the next world mural.
Wait, HDB 41. We weren't those officer precinct?
Why, yes, your precinct number is 41.
And the HDB is Harry Dubois.
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Harry Dubois, HDB. Still feels like there's something missing from that.
Fine then, I give up on Raphael.
That's comforting to hear. Now, detective, it takes half an hour to piece one of these together, if you still want to. Here are your options.
I can revisit this.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Read the yellow papers.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form.
What types of forms are there?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work.
Field autopsy.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form, waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs, color of the irises, predation marks, condition of sexual organs.
Station call.
These are quite sinister in turn. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
Misconduct fine.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead
Oh, well,
guys.
delightful. I'm sure that dead guys are happy to fill out forms.
The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
Smell the ledger.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner.
Look at the clipboard.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM.
What did you say the color was?
Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it.
Shake the ledger.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? Permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged if something happened to it.
Peek inside.
The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
How would I open it?
With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Interfacing check. Open the hidden compartment in the clipboard.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just,
Slide the drawer open.
without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open.
What's inside?
2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick up the ticket stubs.
2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Pick up the card.
Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue.
Smell it first.
It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored, exactly like the gum wrapper you found. The same brand of chewing gum.
Open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand.
Yeah, okay, I was thinking this was going to be like a card from his ex-wife.
A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, It begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please.
But it will make me happy. Keep reading.
Your hand shakes holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road.
Woof.
Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Keep reading.
You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. I can't believe the happiness I feel with you. You have a vast, vast soul, and I will always come back to it.
Keep reading.
Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Small white dots appear. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No. Hold on.
Hold on.
To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything alright?
Falls sideways. Woof. What just happened? Was that a fail state?
There is nothing.
Oh my god.
Again.
Nothing?
Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just blackout.
Just lie there passed out.
Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, fluttering, somewhere in the basal ganglia.
Who's that?
That's me. Blue eyes, that's me.
And who was that?
Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying to hold on to the great sorrows slipping in the water. Slimy.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Thought gained. White morning. Okay. So, my name appears to be Harry.
Your name is fuck all.
It certainly ain't Harry.
Then what is it?
Your name is passed out on the ground, dragged around by one of the other evil apes. They're taking you somewhere.
What was that the X something? The...
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
No, it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape. Its lack of beauty was not the problem.
Where is Voyager Road?
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause.
Enough. Just lie there, motionless.
You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules. No. Someone is breathing on your face now, inspecting your pupils, stupid idiot.
What is that? It's cold.
Yes, they're pouring something on you. It's in you. And
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air is thick with leatherworks and heavy fuel oil. Cold water runs down your chin.
Danborn says, I would love to see a therapist analysis of this game, but they usually focus on the more popular stuff. Yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of therapist analysis videos personally, but that's because I think that the way that tends to engage with the text is like, so it does depend on the therapist for sure. Like, I know that different therapists have like different like approaches and practices and different beliefs, but I think like stuff that I have seen has a tendency to be very like psychiatric in nature, and it can be very focused on like trying to identify symptoms and then trying to like diagnose a character, which is obviously like a very psychiatric framework, and the focus is very much on like medicalizing these characters and like a medical understanding of their problems. And I'm quite like anti-psychiatry myself, and there are therapists who are anti-psychiatry, and in their practice they kind of that's reflected like in the way that they relate to patients and treat patients and stuff. So their emphasis wouldn't necessarily be on like, you know, trying to like understand or help you through the idea of like diagnosis or symptoms. I think that, yeah, I think a lot of like content that I see online that's like therapists analyzing stuff or blah 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 is very like that, and I don't really like it, and I don't really like enjoy engaging in media in that way. I think that like, I mean, obviously like part of why I enjoy kind of like having this channel and talking about games is because like I really like kind of like analyzing art and analyzing characters, and like not just from a political point of view but from like an artistic point of view, an emotional point of view as well. I just really like art, and I'm very happy to kind of talk about characters and analyzing characters. I think that there was definitely a time in my life, like I remember over on our YouTube channel we made video essays that a few years ago now, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago now, we made a video essay about Life is Strange, and at that time my thinking about like psychiatry wasn't where it is today, and I kind of used the idea of understanding like certain characters through certain diagnostic categories, like in particular BPD, and that's not something that I would do today, and that's not something I can imagine myself doing in the future, like when I write analysis of games or media anymore. But I do think that in talking about kind of like the emotional and psychological aspects of the characters is interesting and important. I'm just very wary of that kind of thing. So that's not to kind of like be negative or discouraging. I think that I just see that a lot of the stuff out there is like that, but I think that perhaps that could be interesting depending on the therapist and depending on like who they are and how they engage. There is a therapist Let's Play, says Lesbian Pain. Euro Brady has been playing it for a year now and is about to finish it. Okay, interesting. Is Euro Brady the therapist that you're mentioning? I think that one of the things that I would say at this juncture that I find interesting about like the emotional or psychological aspects of the game. I think I talked a bit in the last stream about kind of like alcoholism and stuff, but I think that the whole thing about this character having like extreme, like complete amnesia and then kind of like starting from scratch. I also talked a little bit about kind of that kind of thing as a narrative device, like the way that a character that's kind of a blank slate, especially in a role-playing game with like a completely new fantasy world that you have to learn about from scratch, can be a useful or interesting narrative tool, because you might also be learning about the world from scratch, and if you're aligned with this character who like also doesn't really like know anything about this world and blah blah blah, then I think that that can be a useful narrative tool in that way. But I also think that there seems to be, so they've talked a little bit obviously about how like, you know, alcohol can really affect your memory, and again, like as someone who's like been a recovering alcoholic, like that's very aware of that, like how alcoholism can affect your memory. And I think that that is kind of like a thing that's true, and it's, you know, but it's the game kind of frames it like quite ambiguously and in quite a surreal way, like the amnesia. Like there isn't like a completely clear medical explanation for it, and I don't even think that the medical explanation for it is narratively important, because the game kind of like employs like a kind of strangeness. I don't know if I would always necessarily call it like surrealism, but there is kind of like a strangeness or sometimes like an absurdity or surrealism to certain aspects of the game and the scenarios and the writing and like the dream like quality of certain parts of the game. And what that has been reminding me of is that, so I mentioned earlier that, you know, you have the Inland Empire thing in the game, and the which betrays kind of a clear influence from David Lynch, and a lot of people have described this game as Lynchian in the way that it is sort of surreal in some of its storytelling techniques, and has that like quality of strangeness about it. And I'm a huge fan of David Lynch's work, and I think that a huge part of the reason for that is that I think that I really like surrealism in general, like when I think it's done well, and I do think that David Lynch is an absolute like genius of surrealism, because he's so what he's so like brilliant at doing, and obviously there are like other, you know, artists who have also done this very well, but just to, you know, talk about him in connection to this game, is like the surrealism, it's not strangeness for strangeness' sake, you know what I mean? Surrealism is an artistic tool, and dreams are very powerful, because you don't have like dreams that are strange just because often like your mind is somehow like processing something about your day or your relationships or your emotions that you might not even consciously be aware of. Your unconscious brain is somehow like processing something or expressing something that your conscious brain may or may not be able to do. And that's what's so powerful about dreams. And I think that in particular David Lynch's art is about like, it has this dreamlike quality, and I think that the power of dreams is often that like it's very strange, but it's like communicating something deeper, something that touches your unconscious mind and your like emotional self, even if it doesn't make logical sense. And I think that that's what he is so brilliant at doing. Like, you know, you watch a movie like Mulholland Drive and you're thinking, you know, this doesn't entirely make logical sense, but it moves me so deeply on an emotional level because it makes a kind of emotional sense, and the dream like scenarios that I'm watching feel like they're communicating so much to me about these characters and how they relate to each other and relate to themselves. And part of what I feel I can interpret at this point from the dreamlike sometimes quality of like the writing or the scenarios, and they have kind of deployed dreams at least once so far, and I imagine they're going to do that again. And also from this kind of like complete amnesia, which creates this, you know, strangeness of the dialogue. You know, I'm trying to, and this kind of like disjointed set, like reality where I'm trying to like walk and talk and act like a police officer doing a case, but I don't remember anything about who I am. So like it all is a kind of like performance, and through that performance you're like constructing your sense of self. You are constructing your sense of self because you have no information about that self, but then also you're kind of like trying to look for like clues and bits and bobs about who you were, but is who you were who you are? And yeah, I think that those kinds of themes of identity are really being brought to the fore by those like surreal techniques, and that raises a big question about this character's psyche in the sense of him having some kind of crisis of identity. And I know that you can mention at one point like, oh, I think I didn't want to be a cop anymore, and that was something I was so curious about, because I'm thinking, did this guy start kind of being like, oh, I've worked in this job and been this person because of this job, and I don't want to be that person anymore, and asking questions about like who he is and who he wants to be and if he can be someone new. And I think that there's that, and there's also the way in which like often when we forget things, and it can be related to alcoholism for sure, but often we can like repress memories and stuff, right? And that can be because the memories are too difficult for us to deal with. And alcoholism is also like an avoidance thing as well. Like it's about, you know, you don't really want to properly think about yourself and other people and the world around you. And again, like I'm saying this like being a recovering alcoholic myself, and I think that you sort of think that you're able to escape yourself with alcohol, but then every time you kind of like wake up with a hangover, you realize that there's no escape, but then you feel so ashamed and so horrible about the things that you did when you were drunk that you drink again to escape those horrible feelings all over again, and that's how it becomes a vicious cycle. And so I think that there's a sense in which this character waking up in complete darkness and having no memory of who he is also kind of like feels like something that's coming from a person who is like so unhappy with himself that he wishes that he could forget it entirely, that he can kind of just like disappear himself out of existence, maybe because he is grappling with those questions of who he is and not liking who he is and wondering if he can make a change and stuff like that, you know? And I think that it's actually the strangeness of the scenario and the strangeness of the dialogue and like all of this that's really able to like artistically convey that about this character in like a really unique and really powerful way, you know what I mean? Whereas like in a lot of realist fiction, like realism is fine, and I think that like realism can also obviously be like very emotional and very effective, but I guess for me personally, what I like so much about surrealism is that I think that like sometimes I think the experiences that we have, like the way as we as people experience the world, feels so immense and is so impossible to, it feels impossible sometimes to convey like the immensity of those kind of psychological experiences that we have like in a realist way. I think I guess that's why like surrealism is able to kind of hit more on an emotional level, because it's like about exploring or representing like emotional truths rather than logical truths, if that makes sense. And yeah, I guess that part of what's quite fascinating about this game is that it is interested in all of that, and then also there's this very like material narrative going on about like the politics of this world. But I think that's also the thing about, I guess that's also kind of the thing about like the individual and the collective. And what I mean by that is that like when you like hate yourself and your existence so much because of the harm that you've caused, which, you know, with this character, with his being a police officer and whatever he did to people while he was a police officer and whatever he did to his ex-wife, that you hate yourself so much for all of that that you kind of try to disappear yourself out of existence. You are in a way absolving yourself of the responsibility that you have to the people around you and the world around you, because like all of the suffering that you individually are experiencing because of the harm that you have done is horrible and difficult and all of that stuff. But if you escape yourself, then you're actually also escaping your responsibility to others. And I think the only way that you can really like honor that responsibility that you have to others and truly like be a person who like can repair the harm that they've done to others and live a life where even if you have caused harm to others in the past, then hopefully you can learn lessons from that and, you know, in the future be able to treat people with more kindness and more compassion and more care, and to be a positive force in the world. Like, I think that when you're in such a dark place that you want to kind of self-eviscerate, like through addiction or things like that, then, and this is not me trying to sound like I'm blaming anyone, but I think that you do kind of just like, in a way you are kind of absolving your sense of your responsibility to change and your responsibility to the people around you. And I feel that a big part of why I have been able to have a positive journey with my recovery is because I feel, me personally, I think I just feel that I have become a person. I'm not saying that I necessarily always was, because, you know, people grow and they change and stuff, but I think that like in my, you know, late teens and in my 20s, I think that I could say of myself that I feel very responsible to other people, and I feel very responsible to the world around me, and that I have a responsibility to try and do good. And so even though it could be so difficult and so like painful for me to really confront the things that I was doing and the ways that I was behaving and the harm that I caused to others when I was drinking the way that I was. I think that, you know, I feel very blessed that certain people in my life actually kind of, you know, stopped and said to me, you know, we really care about you, but what you are doing is not okay, and not only are you like hurting yourself, but you're hurting us. And I remember just kind of being very much like jolted into action, because I guess that I thought that everything was fine because the only person I was hurting was myself, but then I realized, you know, that I wasn't, and that I actually needed to do the hard thing, which was to confront that and be held accountable and to change myself as a person so that I wouldn't hurt people the way that I had again. And it's, yeah, anyway, these are the kind of like things that I think come to my mind at this point about this character and how the game is kind of conveying this character. Yeah, very interested to see where it goes next, though. Sorry, that was a lot of talking. I just need a sip of water. Totally see what you mean, that some that diagnose a character and others that explain why a character does what they do, and I'm more interested in the latter part. Yeah, I hear that, then Born. I definitely agree. Euro Brady sometimes goes on a 30-minute lecture about psychology mid-game. Okay, I could potentially be interested in that. Again, I have, my reservations about, as I've said, like certain, like pathologizing or psychiatric approaches, but I think I could be interested in watching a therapist play a game if they were not like that.
The water
sorry.
is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat. The pounding in your head recedes. The darkness parts.
Sorry, that was the lieutenant giving Harry some water.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need a secondary form of hydration.
Drink.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on the driver's seat. The lieutenant pays no heed to it.
What happened?
I should ask you the same.
You were reading your paperwork. Then you passed out. I carried you to my kinema to take you to a hospital. Then you came to.
How long was I out?
10 minutes, maybe.
I came in contact with the burnt-out ruins of the past, Lieutenant.
That does sometimes happen.
He hands you the remains of your ledger.
You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed?
Just nod.
Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the Tools tab in your inventory.
Okay. Okay, yeah, the ledger is gone. Maybe I should have checked out some other stuff first, but I did not, so. Giant novelty check. This is the same ledger you found in the trash, only worse somehow. It makes you think about the letter, about the woman's handwriting, about not wanting to get out of bed in the morning.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Oh, thank you, Zemborn. That's very kind. I'm glad that you feel that way. I would assume that's why you're here. But I really appreciate hearing that. That's affirming.
Oh, and the cool piece of toilet paper is stuck to the back.
Okay. Inspect the clip.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
Run your finger across the aluminium.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Hey, Lieutenant, what is this? Point to the sticker.
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property.
What kind of information?
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved. How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
How can I read it?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Like, for example?
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
That's all, thank you.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Inspect the toilet paper.
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Take it off.
Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better.
Put the ledger away. Does it give me bonuses and stuff, or no? But I look professional if I hold it in my hand. So let's walk around with the ledger in our hands. Okay, I've quite a few tasks on my plate, I think, but also I have the option to level up. Wow, my authority is at 0. Okay. What do I want to level up? I feel that composure might be helpful for me to level up, because I feel like having bad composure has landed in me in some quite shitty situations. I also think having shit reaction speed has been bad. Yeah, let's level up composure. Okay. Let Evrart know that you've unlocked the door. The working class woman said you're a bit of a cockatoo. What if it's true? Go read up on cockatoos in the bookstore. Maybe you'll discover something new about yourself. Read the watermarks. Go to the kinema and turn on the lights. Yeah, let's do that first, because we're right here.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Alright. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
Okay, this is for turning on the headlights.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage.
Press engine start.
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canadian comes to life with a whiny growl.
Press the button labeled headlights.
The lights unfold, with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Okay.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
There's a note of pride in the lieutenant's voice.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Look at the shimmering street grid.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Wait, look around you.
A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry. In the middle of a broken plaza, in a cone of light, barely visible in the daytime, two men, one slim, the other sturdy. They are on the city stage, but only one of them knows his lines.
Ah, Martinez.
Where are we on this?
Let me see.
He takes the ledger for a moment and inspects it.
Right here.
He says, his finger near the top of the map on a segment of coast jutting out into the great ocean. Seems nice.
No, it does not.
Look at the perforations.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Tally up the different rows.
The first row has 18 dots.
What about the next one?
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then
count them individually.
There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
What about the last row?
The last row has 3 perforations.
3? That's it?
That's it.
Hey Kim, what do all these holes mean? Point to the dots of the watermark.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's good.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
18 years I've done this?
That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
Do you really think I have any idea?
Fair point. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see, wow, more than 200.
Is that a lot?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
I don't think I can ever re-become this person. What's the last number?
Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
So, I'm a killer.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way. There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident.
It's obvious the lieutenant doesn't think very highly of these officers.
But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to
One of the good ones. Kim. I know you're literally a cop, but that propaganda has you by the balls. Have you ever killed anyone, Kim?
Yes.
he says, declining to elaborate.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
How do you handle the strain?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others.
He gives you a meaningful look.
Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Like what?
Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
Maybe I should find a hobby.
Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves.
He points to your yellow gardening gloves.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
Thanks for this.
The lieutenant nods.
Okay, let's go.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the task description.
Go to Measurehead on the gate and ask him to get the body down. That's a good idea. Can go back to Evrart later. I do want to get that body down though. Hello, Measurehead.
The unpromising raised pupil returns.
Evrart told you to help us get the body down from the tree.
So it was. My unpromising raised pupil entered the harbor and used my superior to give me orders. I salute your cunning and will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
Wow, okay.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you.
He turns to the lieutenant.
Both of you.
Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that?
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it on ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic outlook.
Okay, stop being racist to my friend, please. Let's... yeah, okay then. Wait here until Measurehead goes.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
Okay, how's this gonna work?
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
Okay, so we're just gonna pass the time by talking to her, I assume? Why are you with Measurehead?
Look at him. His craniometric perfection. Are you cops or what?
Apparently so.
Cool. I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya, by the way.
Wow, Katya. There's a lot going on, Katya.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
Measurehead's babe. Katya, Katya, Katya. You gotta get some self-respect, girl. I don't. I've seen enough of that dead body already.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Evrat's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
Oh god, I forgot about this dickhead.
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small?
Get him, Kim! It's none of your beeswax.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him. walking past him.
Alright, Measurehead. That was quick.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
Thank you for your cooperation, Measurehead.
Farewell, Hamsonwich. You are a Union man from now on.
Isn't Evrart, the Union boss, white?
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
He turns his eyes towards the harbor, seemingly bored with you. Yeah, but you still serve him. How does that factor into your life?
Mr. Claire is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront International Capital, which is something your race naivistic communists never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
Communism is pretty cool.
Idiotic communism is the single greatest contributor to your race descent. Everywhere around you, the fruits of its failure to challenge the world order. Individualism, rock and roll music, sexually transmitted diseases.
So what exactly are you if not a communist, Measurehead, as like a union man, but also you are a union man and a race scientist, so there's a lot going on with you that's like weird and contradictory.
Above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music?
I have gotten it from disco, actually.
Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. It is a shame upon my race. But what is done is done.
Wow.
I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race.
Okay, wonderful. We're done with this line of inquiry.
Measurehead stoically looks to the distance in silence.
Leave. Okay, does that mean that we can go back to the body and autopsy the situation? Actually, if I'm up here, let me, I guess, tell Evrart about the door. Might as well, while we're up here. Feel pretty claustrophobic having an office in a shipping container, no windows.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
There's something special about it. It was attached to the Gvalsund crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe That's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing.
I could try convincing it, but my rhetoric stats are devastating, so no, can't do it at this point. I opened the door you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth.
The deal wasn't for me to go inside, so I didn't. Which is actually a lie, because I did go inside. But for some reason, the only option it's giving me is to lie. I was gonna lie anyway, but here we go.
You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
Oh, I didn't interact with it enough? Oh, okay. I thought I had, but I guess that I did get sad and take a nap instead. It's true. It's true, I did do that. Did everything in the wrong order. But it's fine, that's where we are now. I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it.
By now, I'm sure you figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flat caps.
I'm listening.
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor. Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire.
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry.
Yeah, okay, interesting. So he's kind of bringing up the fact that private security that are hired for things like strike breaking are often also involved in imperialist proxy wars, which is kind of like, you know, the connection between the military-industrial complex and how it kind of protects capitalism and enforces violence on oppressed people domestically and globally, and how, you know, capitalism and imperialism are entwined and part of the same apparatus. So that is interesting stuff. Obviously very dark and very horrible, but it's interesting that the game is saying that.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Okay, well, you don't have to go around saying third world slum and stuff like that, like kind of undermining your point. But I think that the point about the fact that what the military are doing in the global south, they will do here is a very pertinent point, I think. I'm not sure if we talked about it on a previous stream of this game, but I've definitely talked about it on the channel before, like how, you know, for example, like the IOF or the Israeli Occupation Forces train the US police at this point, and they're using the same tactics that are used in the occupation and genocide of Palestinians to create like cop cities in the United States. So it's a pretty solid example, and it's not the only one. Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
They move the container.
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
Jesus, can you like not talk about rape like that? Like, it's just, come on.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
The whole neighborhood is in on it?
Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack as things progress about like the parallels between the Hardy Boys and the police that the game keeps making, because I do think that the lynching, what they did to this private security officer, like that's not like punching down, that's punching up, you know what I mean? So it's like, and that's not what cops do, they punch down. So I think that it is potentially like more complex than that, but equally, I don't know, like what other kinds of like policing, quote unquote, are they doing in this neighborhood?
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martin A's boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried. He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway.
Interesting. How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
He's not scared of them. If anything, he likes them being here. Strange.
You mentioned a lawyer girl.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Well, good for her. But Why did you pay for her law degree? What's going on? Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Okay, so some of these people are describing themselves as socialist democrats, and sometimes as socialists, which are, you know, different positions. Like, I don't know, like, I guess that it could be like a bit of a broad church organization. It's just, yeah, like, socialist democracy is like, I always find calling yourself a SocDem, like a socialist democrat, like, a bit weird, because because it kind of feels like, why do you need to say that you're pro-democracy, because being a socialist is being pro-democratic, in my opinion, because, like, I think that there's, like, common misunderstanding, which is, like, part of Western propaganda, that socialism is, like, inherently authoritarian, which is not true. Like, if anything, quite the opposite, because it's about the dictatorship of the proletariat, right? Like, centralized, you know, you're centralizing, nationalizing everything in order to redistribute it equally, but that is under the dictatorship of the proletariat. And so I always kind of think that should be like a common sense aspect of socialism, is that it's genuinely democratic. And I mean, like, genuinely democratic as opposed to, like, you know, we, under neoliberal societies, we're told that we have, like, democracy, but what we have is, like, an electoral democracy, which is, like, not, like, I know that this depends a lot on how you define democracy, so, you know, if anything, people would potentially also take issue with me saying genuine democracy. So electoral democracy is, like, a certain kind of democracy where, like, ostensibly we have control of our own governance because we elect representatives to govern us, but, like, personally, I don't, like, I think that electoral democracy is a really fucked system in a lot of ways, and I think that there are a lot of potential interpretations and practices of what, like, democratic structures could be. And also under electoral democracy, and this has always been the case since, like, the time of ancient Greece, like, only certain people actually have voting rights, so it's not the case that everybody has, like, a say. And even if they did, I think the idea of, like, electing a representative to make your decisions for you, as we've seen, is very flawed, because then they are barely held to account for anything. Hi Layla, you might be able to hear my cat. Hello. I don't know if you can hear her purring. Hello, little cat. Do you want to watch the game? Anyway, yes, that's my rant. Like, it's, like, fine, but I always just find it, like, weird, I guess, to specify that. Hello, lady. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted by petting my beautiful little kitty. Okay.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
I don't like the sound of that. I met these Hardys. Can you ask them to cooperate with me?
But of course! It's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
He holds out a banknote. Why are you giving it to me?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
Okay.
The lieutenant watches you pocket the banknote. He looks a little puzzled.
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more questions?
I probably shouldn't take the money, but also I need 20 real for my... hotel room. So I'm not going to say no to money, because I'm broke. Good talk. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you.
Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
I am, though.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
I am a communist. What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is. Company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me?
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
Kim, what do you think of this?
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Claire was very useful.
But he thinks it's your call.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
What are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates.
Okay.
There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Okay, fine.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
He hands you an open white envelope.
You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist.
He runs his fingers through his thin hair.
See you soon, debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Okay. level up again. Kind of tempted to level up rhetoric because of the box situation. Yeah, fuck it. Oh, I want to be able to talk to the box. Getting down the body, go to the yard and see what measure had accomplished. I do want to do that. Okay, let's see whether or not we can talk to the...
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. I'll come back to that later. 3% is incredibly low, so I don't fancy my chances with that. I wonder if now that the body is down, we'll be able to get the boots off of it. Oh, no.
Yes?
Nothing. Okay, wait. Oh, you're okay, Kuno? Holy shit. Kuno is not looking good. What's up, buddy?
You missed a good show before.
Oh.
A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
Can you not be using racial slurs, Kuno?
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
Stop using the K word. It belongs in the past.
Can't tell Kuno what words to use. Fucking kit.
He abused the last syllable with a special kind of joy. What is this, a word museum? You want to belong to a museum, Kuno, with old people?
Fuck you. Kuno says kipped if he wants to. Kuno's dad says kipped all the time. Kipped's a cool word.
Kipped, kipped, kippity, kipty, kipped. Kippity, kipped, 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 kipped.
It's like a little engine has come alive on the other side of the fence. An engine that only says kipped.
Oh, children.
Kipped. Alright, shut it down, see. The cunt has business to do.
Okay, well, Kuno is fine. Kuno is absolutely fine. I misread that situation entirely. Silly me for thinking that Kuno might have needed some help.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Well, it's down. Celebrate in a more reserved manner.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
A field autopsy?
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
Did we have someone else for this? A doctor?
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work. everything.
I don't think that's usually how that works. I mean, maybe that does in this universe, which seems like a bad idea, but honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is Lieutenant Detective.
Yes, I feel like a detective. I think we know that he is a detective, but I'm actually going to express the opposite sentiment. I don't think I'm a detective.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now...
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
What exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
He pulls on a pair of latex gloves. Clap your gloved hands. Let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
What do you mean?
I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes.
We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
Well, thank God I did things in that order, huh? Open your ledger at the... tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
No, we've already talked
Come
about it.
back later, Corporal.
Try to remove the dead man's
Amuse
boots.
yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Try to remove the dead man's boots.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus.
Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone asleep.
Okay, open your ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with...
Begin. Number 1, assistant.
That's you.
Harry Dubois.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says...
Number 2, coroner's case.
KK57.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you.
Write it down.
Next. NA. Next.
Name. That's not applicable for name. Date of birth.
NA.
Not applicable. Age.
Roughly 50.
Roughly 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Race.
Mondial.
Write it down.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex.
Fucky, fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
This is interesting. It's just the way that we're kind of saying he doesn't look like he has an age or race or sex or gender.
We're still going with March 4th, 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens, motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment, anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Right, okay. I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
He places his hand on the dead man's chest as if in preparation.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorian burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerback puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories, wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the page.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copy paper tries to answer why.
External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body on its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
Okay, I feel conflicted because I kind of want to get the boots if I can, but also I don't feel very good about betraying Kim's trust. When am I going to get them?
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
I don't know. I feel like I know I'll fail the quest to get all of the bits of armor and stuff, but I don't feel very good about betraying Kim's trust. I don't know. Also, isn't he going to be able to see us wearing the boots and he'd be upset with me? I'm gonna write it down. Sorry to be square. It's not about following the rules as much as it is about not wanting Kim to be upset with me.
tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow. Length, 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing.
Write it down.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write down.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Oh yeah, I'm prepared. Pet the chain cutters.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Good thing we got these chain cutters. Pull out the rubber-gripped cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now...
He points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck.
We need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See? My pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast.
Okay. Physical instrument check. Cut the belt off.
You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. Then...
Fuckity fuck.
The lieutenant looks by, somewhat worried as you summon power words to your aid.
Enough. Cut some.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck that faggoty. Corpse fucking time.
Told you my pig was hardcore.
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
He steps in and takes the chain cutters from you. Let him work. I failed the check, so I'm gonna let him do it.
He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts, with his elbow to his knee, for precision. Yes, that's much better form than you had. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
Here.
He hands you the chain cutters back and then kneels closer to the body, running his finger along the dark red groove until he comes to a gap.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, on the nape.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Write it down.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
He pulls down the man's underpants.
No! Let's get up and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
Write it down.
Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Let the lieutenant work alone.
Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle.
Were we expecting any? Okay. Yeah.
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Working so close to the fumes coming from the corpse must be hard. You realize suddenly that the lieutenant has been barely keeping it together these past 2 items.
Write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
Okay, I'll bite. If I may add, the moral of this story.
What would that be?
He looks at you inquisitively.
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
The lieutenant grins. All right, N.A.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Write it down.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why, don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
Write NA.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Brimming with cocaine.
Write NA and add toxicology requested.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Write it down.
Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around to the ground, the pool of feces there.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly. Write it down amid the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
What about the injuries we have inflicted?
Oh, so we inflicted them?
Okay, I inflicted.
Okay, so there's an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. I wouldn't mention it. Better not to muddy the waters.
So, back to injuries.
Injuries.
Bite marks.
Head, chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
Write down.
And your opinion, officer?
Head, chest, and scalp bite marks. Non-fatal post-mortem would be my opinion.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
The lieutenant's admission has caused great gratitude in Kuna. He is silent with it.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Right. Next.
Ligature mark. Hold on. What's the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Okay. Ligature mark.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Write it down.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Opinion, fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
How did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Rip out a copy of the autopsy pages.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse.
Okay, perception check chances are incredibly low, so I don't know. Let's bag him.
Okay. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can take care of the rest.
There go those beautiful enamel boots. You will never own the full set now. May they rest in processing.
What should I do in the meanwhile?
Continue working here. The locals, the case, or attend to your own business. I will meet you downstairs in the Whirling in Rags tomorrow morning, 7:30 sharp.
This means Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks, and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench on the plaza.
Bag the corpse and drag it to the motor carriage. Wow. And there was one. I mean, I do have quite a few side tasks to do, so that should be fine. Okay, it's giving me a level up option again. And I think I would like to give it to... maybe visual calculus. I think reaction speed. Okay. Ooh, I do have another point to... Okay, I'm feeling indecisive though, so I'm not going to decide that right now. It's my task list. Find your heraldic bird. The working class woman said that you're a bit of a cockatoo. What if it's true? Go read up on cockatoos in the bookstore. Let me read up on cockatoos in the bookstore. Oh, wait. This is a new place. Can read up on the cockatoos later. Waterlock out of order until Wednesday, 7:15 AM. Barry, can you hear me, buddy?
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything.
Okay, well I'm gonna have to do something about that sign then, I guess.
G'day to you, officer.
Man on waterlock.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them. His posture is relaxed. Despite his powerful build and a knife in his hand, this man resorts to physical intimidation only infrequently, if at all.
What are you doing here, man on the waterlock?
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating his salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer?
The man on the waterlock picks the skin off a slice of salami and takes a sizable bite. Can't believe you're eating the poor man's salami. Do you know what caused this wreckage?
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol.
The words daredevil driver sound ominous to you.
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here. Especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
Do you know what's further down the coast?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it.
He thinks for a moment.
Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Can I have some of that salami?
Sure thing.
He cuts off a slice of salami. Okay, bye. Okay, so I need to figure out how to go this way if I need to get to the fishing village to talk to the girl. Well, there we go. Roy's pawn shop, cash for faster times. Hold on, let me just check the... Right. Oh. Some new gloves. Cigarette-stained fingertips on the fingerless gloves. Okay, I mean, they look cool, but I feel like the stat boost from the gardening gloves is a bit better. So I'm going to have my ridiculous gardening gloves back on for now. Is there anything I can do about that sign? Oh, I think that's the man who was selling the sneakers, right? Oh. No. Yeah, no, I can't go down there. Okay. Let me try and press the gate lock, I guess.
A rusting this panel.
Pull the lever up.
Pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then nothing happens.
Okay. Release the lever.
A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
Okay, I guess I come back on Wednesday morning then. What day is it? How do I know what day it is? Let's check out this pawn shop though. I was wondering how the hell I get to the fishing village because I thought I'd explored like most of the areas.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Interfacing check. Dig up a truly cool figurine in the box under the table.
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys.
Damn. Win her back?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine.
Inspect the knights on horseback.
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks. The kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Shopkeep, what are these?
A classic set. The figurines represent the 5th century Franco-Nigerian cavalry.
Inspect the blue uniforms.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
This looks like Rene, the old guy who was playing Petanque.
That they do. The uniforms are precisely the same. Some even have the same shaped medals pinned to their chests.
Are these royalist soldiers?
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
Inspect the figurines in rags.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
Are these even soldiers?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers. Revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the Royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
I wish it was more nuanced. As it stands, I cannot comment.
I don't like either set very much, to be honest. But there are many parents among my customers.
He seems to have his own take on the conflict played out in perpetuity by these toys. Might be interesting to find out what it is.
Step away from the table. A bust of a woman. The plaque simply says DEI. In the dark, a film projector is whirring away. Some kind of machine, an antique cash register? Most military wear with a few more eccentric fashions thrown in.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Let your gaze run over the streetlight.
The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently. This would make quite a statement in your living room.
Is that a streetlight?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured. He wants you to know that he has nothing to hide.
Where did you get this?
It was brought to me to be altered.
The light's buzzing resembles the purring of a cat. It seems very much at home here.
How much for the streetlight? I'm probably not going to buy it, but I'm going to ask anyway.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
Even taking into account the risk of obtaining the light, that seems a bit steep.
There's also the matter of rewiring. But the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Woof. There's nothing else you need to know about the light.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Stand on the tips of your toes to see more.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Shopkeep, this Stereo 8 approved machine here
is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Ciao. Plays all reel-to-reel format. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
What I really want to know is, could this device come in handy in my police work?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Are you sure this is all in working order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
How can you not really like music? Genuine question. I don't think I've ever in my real life encountered someone who said that they didn't really like music, but I feel like I have in media. And I'm always struck by it because there has to be some kind of music. I just don't understand it. I'm not trying to sound judgmental, but I just don't understand that. Hi, Austin. How are you doing? Okay, I'm not gonna buy the boombox for now.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop.
The man at the counter turns to you slowly.
What can I do for you?
Good overall, just relaxing. Good, that's good to hear. Yeah, I'm okay. I've been a bit, yeah, as you know, I've been a bit, like, ill recently. I kind of started feeling better this week and, like, going back to work and being a bit more normal. But I'm still feeling a bit, like, not 100%. But I'm okay, though. I'm not too bad. I've been enjoying Disco Elysium quite a bit. I streamed it quite a bit last week. I think I started it last week while I was sick, because I took the whole week off work, and you know how it is when you get sick and you're stuck inside and you get really bored, so I thought it would be a good idea to do some streaming. No face cam, so that I can be a gremlin. And yeah, this is my first time playing Disco Elysium, and I am enjoying it quite a bit. Have you played it before? I know that it was a game that a lot of people had been saying I would really like, and that they really wanted to talk to me about for quite a while, so it's been a long time coming, but we're finally here. Played it a couple years ago, really enjoyed it. Good. It's definitely really interesting, right? Like, politically, like, there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on, and it's quite, like, nice as well to... I think in a lot of ways I haven't played a game that's been as explicit as this in a lot of its political themes, and it's really... I mean, it's quite unabashedly, like communist, isn't it? in a lot of ways. So there's definitely, like, a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about, which is really good. I'm astounded by how much writing they did. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's having said that, a few days ago, I think after my last stream, my friend told me that there was a People Make Games documentary about Disco Elysium. I hadn't heard about that before, and I think that I was, like, peripherally aware that there was some kind of, like, controversy around the studio Zaum, but now that we're kind of talking about the amount of writing they did, I think this is a good time to bring this up, because I think it's an important kind of thing to talk about when, I guess, talking about the politics of this game. So I watched the documentary. I'm not sure if anyone here has seen it before or has any thoughts on it. It's about 2.5 hours long, and it's like, there's a lot of stuff that it kind of dives into. One of them is, like, that there's ongoing kind of court proceedings surrounding, like, one of the major investors in Zaum and in Disco Elysium being accused by the lead writer and a couple of the other lead creatives on Disco Elysium and kind of, like, founders or co-founders of Zaum, accusing this guy of essentially, like, stealing the IP from under them. And that's one of the things that the documentary explores, and by all means it kind of, you know, seems like some shady shit has gone down, and obviously, like, venture capitalists are you know, that, like, they want money. They want to make as much money as possible. It's no surprise. But some of the very interesting and very complicated aspects of that documentary are that there were also employees at the studio that were very unhappy with kind of in particular the lead writer, but some of the kind of people who brought up this lawsuit, who were, you know, at different point like lead writers or managers on the project and had been kind of the original members of Ciao, like they were very unhappy with their behavior in the studio, and in particular what they describe is very much an attitude of like, you know, being very rude, and very kind of like toxic to the people that they worked with and the people that they managed, but also just having like a very exploitative and very what's the word I'm looking for? Like an attitude towards their labor that really like devalues the labor that they do. And this is really ironic, right? Because we're talking about, again, like a couple of the lead writers on this game and like I think the lead art director and stuff, and these people, they founded the studio, which was, you know, before it was Ciao, like the video game studio, before they ever even thought about creating a video game called Disco Elysium, they were part of an anarchist collective called the Overcoats, and Ciao originally was like kind of like this, it was also like a collective of people who are kind of like anarchists or communists who were working on like creative projects, and like the world of Elysium was conceptualized at that point, and they wrote some novels in it and stuff. But anyway, we're talking about people who would describe themselves as anarchists and communists for a very long time, and as you can tell from the game, like clearly are, you know, very invested in and very knowledgeable about communism, anarchism, Marxism, etc. Colonialism as well, I would say, to some degree. I'm still trying to kind of like interpret some of the ways that colonialism is depicted in these games, but I guess one of the things it brought up for me, and you're absolutely right, Austin, right? Like people are messy and complicated, but I think one of the things that it brings up for me that I think is a really pertinent like question for us is how within left-wing spaces sometimes we, you know, we claim to be against like things like capitalism, obviously, but sometimes when we create our own spaces, or we try to create our own spaces, we knowingly or not, because like I obviously don't want to like, you know, I don't know these people, I don't want to like assign intention, but this is also kind of speaking a bit from my own experience with like organizing in different spaces, can replicate the violence of capitalism that we claim to be against. And this is like a very important, sometimes like overlooked dynamics within left-wing spaces that I think that we as each other's peers and each other's comrades really need to confront all the time. Like how do we treat other people, and how do we relate to other people's labor? That's, you know, whether it's like your co-workers in your studio, the people you organize with, and how that labor distribution is happening, like in your home, like how is labor distributed? Like these are all really important questions, because, you know, we're trying to build a better world, and if we say that we're communists and anarchists and Marxists, then we really need to be able to, like, within the spaces of like our home, our organizing, our workplaces, like be able to interrogate like how we relate to people and their labor, and think about like how to act in a way that aligns with those values. And when I was watching that documentary, I was very struck, particularly like in the parts of the interview where like the lead writer the main lead writer in particular, I would say. I think his name is like Robert Kurwitz or something like that. When this sort of stuff is brought up, you know, people have, you know, were very unhappy and very hurt by the way that you treated them in the studio. Like, regardless of what's happened with the shareholder situation, you may very well be wronged, and it sucks when, obviously it sucks, and it's so horrible that, like, you know, venture capitalists are stealing artists' IP from them in order to, like, make money and exploit artists. Obviously that sucks, but regardless of that, like, you can't treat people that way. It is not okay for you to treat people that way, and this man responded in a way that was, like, completely defensive and completely out of order. And again, he kind of drew on, like, you know, I was so burnt out, like, I was working 12 hours a day. Obviously that sucks, and you shouldn't be doing that, and that's one of the problems, obviously, with the games industry that we're fighting. But you, as someone who believes in, you know, communism, in kind of overhauling those structures and building alternative futures, like, you cannot treat people in a way that just, like, replicates this harm that you claim to be against. And that's just definitely a thing that I think is an important kind of conversation to have when we're talking about, like, the politics of this game, because obviously when we talk about politics in games, it's not just about the content, it's also about the material conditions of how these games are created. And it does sound like, it seems that, you know, the culture of crunch on this game was absolutely abysmal, and it was, like, you know, people were working ridiculous hours, and then they just crashed and burned, like, incredibly hard after this game was finished, and they were very quickly, you know, made to work on the director's cut, like, after finishing the main game. And I think it's such a shame. On so many levels, but I think particularly that, like, you have, like, you know, what starts off as, like, a small independent studio that's run by, you know, people with political values that you believe in, like communism or anarchism, and they're making art that's very communist and very, I mean, not only that, but also, sorry, let me reconnect my controller, but also just, like, super creative and super interesting and, like, unique. And honestly, like, I haven't played a game like this, you know? And for all of that to, like, come crashing down, not just because of, like, capitalists are going to do what they're going to do, right? They're the ruling class, they're our enemies, we know this, but, like, we cannot be doing this to each other, you know what I mean? And that just really sucks. It does. Hi, Layla. Okay, you can probably hear her again because she always makes loud noises when she jumps on the table. Layla's my cat, for people who don't know. Okay, so that being said,
his courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Sorry, I feel like I'm interrupting you.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately, RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored.
Guilty. I do love looking in, like, an antique shop when I'm bored.
As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Typical vacuous consumerist objects. Quite the collection indeed.
It keeps me entertained.
His attention is drawn once more to the play of light and shadow on the walls behind you.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is...
He does sound a bit like he could be stoned. Agreed with you on all you said. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate that. Yeah, so there is a People Make Games documentary. I think Themborn, you said you didn't know that there was a documentary. It's worth checking out if you have the brain power, because some of the segments of the documentary that are going through all of this courtroom drama and like shareholder drama are a little bit difficult to follow, but I think that again it's worthwhile watching that documentary just to really like sit with these lessons that I think are just important for people like us who want to make a difference in the games industry. I think it's worth watching and sitting with it. I do think it's a pretty great piece of investigative journalism, and the work that People Make Games put into it is pretty incredible as well, so they definitely deserve some recognition for that. It's good to see, like, actual, like, thorough and, like, complex investigative journalism, not just like in the game space but in general these days, because sometimes I feel like the state of investigative journalism these days is not very good, is it? Okay, I will not be doing electrochemistry for now. Do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by officers of the Citizens Militia?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned.
Oh shit! Shit! Okay. So, when we were drunk, we sold our gun?
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before.
Oh my god. I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Oh god.
And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
Okay, let me take a morale thing first. I feel like there's something you're not telling me.
You weren't quite yourself, officer.
What was I like?
You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
Jesus Christ.
Very normal behavior. You must have been in great shape.
How much did I sell the gun for?
15 real.
Wow, Jesus. Okay, I'm not gonna say I should have killed myself. I'm sorry you had to see me in that state. We don't have to talk about it any further.
No apologies necessary, officer.
Was the buyer a policeman too?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her.
Okay, I'm not sure. That doesn't ring a bell, so I'm not sure I've met such a person yet.
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Okay. You gotta help me find her, man.
I wish I could help with that, officer. but I don't know where she was from or where she was going.
He's trying to ingratiate himself with you by anticipating your questions. He knows he shouldn't have sold the gun.
Any idea where I can find this buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Evrart wasn't lying, and the Union can track her down in time.
Well, that's that then. Have people from Evrart Claire's Union come here to track that gun?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it.
No problem, Austin. Good night. Thank you for popping by. I'll probably also wrap up after this conversation.
They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
At least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Okay. You might be able to aid my investigation?
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Know anything about the recent hanging?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business. Bad for everyone.
Okay.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
There's something I'd like to sell?
Let me have a look.
I'll check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
A ball used for playing shot put, a favourite pastime of elderly gentlemen. You feel like you should hold on to this and make good use of it. Yeah, I don't think I want to get rid of that with a gun. I guess that I could sell the postcards. Sorry. The postcard depicts an ill-advised residential area looking over the Jamrock Quarter, 13-story buildings. I don't know if I'll have any use for that. Those items yet. I have a fascinating photo of a corpse here. Show him the photo.
Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of objects. No sale.
He barely even looks at it. Do you know what the tattoos mean?
A photic path, counter-radiance network, anti-magnetism. It's darkness. That's all I know. Sell me something lighter.
Do I have clothes I want to sell?
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment.
He looks you up and down quickly.
And especially that tie. It swallows photons around it. I have no need for necrotic objects.
Your mother is a necrotic object! I'm fun! Look at me sparking in the light of the projector!
Oh, it's been a while, horrific necktie. Thanks for chiming in. I don't have anything to sell at the moment.
Another time, perhaps.
Okay, yeah, let's do the electrochemistry roll, because we're not actually taking drugs, we're just trying to figure out what he's high on. Is Roy high, and if yes, what is he on? Electrochemistry check.
Okay, he definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it, and many other things besides. But you can't cut through the jumble of sensations to get to the answer. Looking at his wares, talking to him, that might give you more clues. A guarded man like him wouldn't tell you if you asked out loud.
Okay, fair enough. Is there anything else in particular in your shop that I can look at, my friend? No, I don't think so. Okay, I will shortly be wrapping up, but I'm just gonna check what the next thing is. To get to the coast, you need to use the panel to close the waterlock. It's been blocked pending repairs, which should be done by Wednesday morning. So yeah, today is Tuesday. We started on Monday, so I'll be able to go to the fishing village tomorrow, hopefully. Get Isabel and Lillian in the nameless fishing village down the coast to sign Evrart. Yeah, so we need to do that tomorrow. Still have no idea what's going on with the badge, but at least we have an idea of what's going on with the gun. There is something Joyce wants to tell you. You just have to present her with your badge to hear it, or perhaps if you did her a favour, she could waive off the formality. Ask around about the tattoos. Okay. We've got a few bits and bobs that we can do while Kim is away. Gonna see if I can. The
display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring.
Find the cockatoo book.
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop.
Welp. Sometimes it's necessary to resort to extreme measures.
I suppose it's all over now. I guess there's no escape.
What are you talking about? It's just a door.
Just a door? This place is cursed, Detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me as well.
She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something under her pendant. Cursed, but I thought the curse wasn't real.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman.
Well, you said it wasn't real. She shrugs, visibly dejected.
All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little else to do.
Her facade has dropped. Now you see the curiosity behind the fear.
But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity?
Her eyes narrow as she whispers the name. The entity? Of course, the entity. Close your eyes. I didn't see her, but I sensed her presence.
You did? Then it has to be true. I've suspected that this woman-shaped energy must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you see that she lives inside the chimney?
You mean the chimney that's part of the central furnace? I heard voices coming from there.
Yes, I've heard that. It's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains upstairs. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
You should get back to the furnace. Make some noise.
I will, but really I just wanted to ask about a book about cockatoos before I call it a day.
A book about cockatoos? There should be one upstairs, right next to the shelf of biographies.
Cockatoos, is it?
Shelves full of biographies of famous people. This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance.
No, I'm looking for cockatoos. Cockatoos, I say. There we go. Is this it?
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposed... Several maps have been... The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of...
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents. Though.
Why is that one so cheap?
That old thing? It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
What happened then?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
I can buy it for 90 cents.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
Okay, well, I didn't think it would be this much. There we go.
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
Flip through the pages.
Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems. You don't have behavioral problems. That's garbage. You're cool.
What about this guide to cockatoos, storekeeper?
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
Leave. Not sure I want to commit to trying to steal it without saving, but just on a quick save, so
cockatoo sits on the cover.
I
Its
think
beak
I'll
slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title.
Try
From A
it.
to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
And if it doesn't work, then I could just reload. Interfacing check. Steal the guide to cockatoos.
Slowly, you move your hand toward the tome of cockatoos. Before you reach the book, you're interrupted.
Sir, no touching the merchandise. People like their books pristine, not handled by God knows who.
Okay, well that's that. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna call it a day.